all for holding this important forum, and thank all of you for being here. You've already said it many times over, ICE is terrorizing our communities. They have used military-style riot gear against peaceful demonstrators. They've seized school kids. They've gassed a baby. They've gunned down American citizens on our streets. And meanwhile, Vice President Vance is telling agents that they have, and I want to quote him, absolute immunity from any repercussions. And Trump and Republicans are now trying to shovel billions of additional dollars into the ICE funds so that they can continue to run amok with no real constraints over their behavior. It is not a surprise that ICE agents seem to think that they are above the law, because Donald Trump, J.D. Vance, and the Republicans are treating them like they are above the law. It is the responsibility of the United States Congress to make clear that no, the law applies to everyone, and that includes ICE agents in America. So I appreciate your being here. Let me just ask a couple of questions. Ms. Martinez, you've told us that last October you were driving in your car when a Border Patrol agent rammed the back of your vehicle, pointed an assault rifle at you, and opened fire, shooting you 5 times. You weren't ever found guilty of any wrongdoing, and yet you were shot 5 times by Border Patrol. So my question is, do you know if anyone will ever be held accountable for this?
I don't even know, but I hope soon.
Do you know what happened after you were shot? What happened to the agents who shot you?
I'm not too sure what happened to him, honestly. I just know that he drove his vehicle back to Maine. That's all I know. But I don't know if he's working or, honestly, I don't know.
So as I understand it, this agent left town, making it even harder for an investigation to go forward. And I take it you at least have not been apprised of any investigation that's ongoing against this agent who shot you at point blank range?
Correct.
Yeah. So we just need to be clear here. Immigration agents shoot our neighbors at point blank range with no justification, and here's the big part, and no accountability afterwards. And Ms. Martinez and Mr. Romanici, did I get that right? Good.
Yes.
You're an attorney. You represent the family of Renee Good. We appreciate your being here today.
Thank you.
We've all seen the videos. Renee was coming back from dropping off her kids at school. She has stuffed animals in her glove compartment when an ICE agent shot and killed her. We've got a serious issue with accountability for the agents involved, and I know you've testified to issues with seeking relief for plaintiffs. On top of that, it seems that there haven't been any consequences for the agency itself to prevent these abuses from repeating themselves in the future. ICE is still sitting on this massive slush fund that Republicans put together last year as part of Donald Trump's One Big Beautiful Bill, an amount that is larger than most countries' military budgets. So let me ask you, has even a penny of ICE's slush funding been frozen in response to the killing of Renee Good?
Senator Warren, I am not aware of any money being frozen as a result of what is happening in Minneapolis or any of the other cities. But what I can tell you is this: there will never, ever be accountability until we have real investigations that become public. Could you ever imagine the disaster that happened just miles from here? American Airlines crashing, a helicopter crashing into American Airlines, and the NTSB saying we're not going to investigate or ever release any public findings? we would all be sitting here with our jaws wide open.
Yeah.
There needs to be investigation, and I would support any pinch point that would not, or that would increase accountability for ICE and CBP.
Well, you and I are on the same page here, and I so much appreciate, and I'm sorry for going over here, but I so much appreciate all of you being here today. There are a lot of new rules we need to put in place. The police in Massachusetts do not wear masks. If there's an officer involved shooting, there's an independent investigation. There are a lot of things we could put in place. But a key has to be accountability. If you shoot people, if you gas children, if you seize little people out of elementary schools, if you break the law, part of what our whole system relies on is there's ultimately some accountability. We understand that we get things wrong, but the way we get things better is we demand accountability of ourselves and of those who broke the law. And for me, that's what this hearing is about, and that's what this moment is about. It is Congress's responsibility to step up and say, we are going to put new rules in place for ICE, but most of all, we're going to demand accountability for those who break the law.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you all for being here. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you.
Thank you, Senator. Next up is Representative Lee.
Thank you, Mr. Ranking Member, to both of our ranking members for holding this hearing. And I just first want to associate myself with all of my colleagues who have acknowledged that you can't reform authoritarianism and that we can't unmask fascism and cruelty and oppression, and that the call now is to abolish this agency. ICE and DHS agents are terrorizing communities. They're violating constitutional rights. They're harming, even killing people. They're calling for body cameras and codes of conduct, quite frankly, isn't enough when the agency doesn't care about the current laws or the rules that they're already supposed to follow. The problem is that these immigration enforcement agents are operating exactly how they were meant to operate. ICE is uniquely and deeply an American creation. A lot of my colleagues have called ICE the Gestapo, which makes them seem foreign and new. It allows people to say that what we're experiencing right now is in some way unprecedented, but this isn't a new phenomenon. If you just look back throughout our own nation's history, look back to the slave patrol or to racial segregation enforcement, if we look at the decades of run-of-the-mill racism and authoritarianism, what we're seeing is America doing American things. The so-called Kavanaugh stops from what the Supreme Court open the doors to stops based on racial profiles are just this era's stop and frisk. For years, Black and brown folks have been sounding the alarm about racial bias and discrimination in law enforcement, yet any tiny steps forwards have been erased to support tough on crime policies. The lessons learned in the wake of George Floyd and Breonna Taylor and Ahmaud Arbery have been completely abandoned, and ICE has been able to take advantage of that and run with it. ICE and DHS are inflicting generational trauma. Just listening to our witnesses today and what they've been through at the hands of our government should be difficult for anybody who claims to love this country to hear. Anybody. Mr. Escombe spoke today about going out and running errands with his future in-laws when immigration agents stopped their car. Ms. Herman told us she was going to a doctor's appointment when ICE ripped her from her vehicle as she yelled that she had a disability. Ms. Martinez explained how immigration officers rammed her car and then shot her and then tried to blame her. And we heard from Mr. Romanucci today because we can't hear from Renee Good because ICE killed her. Mr. Escombe, after the sketchy traffic stop and after they came to your home right after these immigration officers actually terrorized your family a third time, almost 2 weeks later, when they broke your front door down, correct?
That is correct.
What went through your head as all of this went down at about 4 a.m?
Just fear.
And your fiance, she was pregnant at the time.
Yes, she was.
Did they make any effort to make sure that she stayed safe and calm?
Not at all. They just kept pointing the lasers at her and the rest of us.
How, if you don't, and it's okay, if you can't right now answer, how has your family coped in the aftermath of this?
Just staying strong together and having faith and slowly moving forward as best as we can.
I want to thank you and all of our witnesses for coming in today and for speaking your truth. For this cannot be overstated, that in these times, it is actually dangerous to speak out against this administration. It's dangerous to speak out against this agency that we know has the ability to target people. When our federal government is willing to lie and to slander anyone who speaks out against Trump or his minions or their plans, it is brave and it's honorable for you to do this and be here. This country needs to really reflect on how we got here. We have to look back and learn rather than sanitizing our history and forget our flaws. We can't just stop at abolishing ICE because that's no longer enough. We need to prosecute the wrongdoings and hold these agents and leaders and anyone who had anything to do with that accountable. I thank you for your time and I yield back.
Thank you. Just a reminder about the 4-minute rule. Senator Schiff.
Thank you, Chairman, for organizing this hearing.